Hello everybody, welcome to K-Pop for Old People. My name is Ari.
And my name is Norm.
And I am going to teach you about K-Pop.
Because I am an old person.
Mm-hmm.
So who are we going to talk about this time?
Today we're going to talk about Red Velvet.
Oh, Red Velvet. That sounds delicious.
That is cannibalism.
Okay. Maybe delicious wasn't the right word.
Yeah.
But it does sound interesting. I'm curious to hear about Red Velvet. But before we get into Red Velvet, what's up with you?
Well, I'm very excited that it's now technically October because, fall is one of my favorite months and also Halloween is one of my favorite holidays, so I'm getting in the spirit for that, I guess.
Yeah, that is exciting. Many, many people love Spooky Month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what else is new? I guess I listened to a bunch of 17 songs.
Mm-hmm.
We could talk about that.
Yeah.
I think we should.
I mean, we kind of have to.
It is implied in our mandate.
Yeah.
I said a bunch of songs. I only listened to actually 3. I don't know if that counts as a bunch, but I did notice when I was looking at their discography, they have a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Compared to some of the groups that we've been talking about where they haven't been around as long, these guys having been around a while.
Yeah, that and also because they have so many people.
Oh, for sure. When I was listening to some of them, I did the YouTube Show Me Who's Singing When videos, which was useful, but also I was just curious about, like, when there's that many people, there's clearly some people who are, like, sort of the lead singer.
Yeah, like the rappers and stuff.
Yeah, there's one guy who seems to be the main rapper, and then another guy who's, like, the secondary rapper, and then there's, like, one guy that seems to be the main lead singer, and then everybody else gets, like, one sentence in the song.
Like, even with smaller groups, like, for example, Kepler, a lot of people have noticed that in, like, most of their songs, the member Bahie gets, like, 1 second of lines, and they're usually in the background. Mm-hmm. While the rest of them get, like, proper lines.
Did you say Kepler?
Yes.
There's a group named Kepler?
Uh-huh. Kep1er. No L.
Okay.
Or 1 instead, but it's still pronounced like that.
Sure. Obviously named after the historical astronomer Johannes Kepler.
Probably.
I don't know. This is the first time I've ever heard of that group. So.
Well, I've mentioned them before.
Have you?
Yes.
I always say that it's the first time I've ever heard something when clearly you've always told me about stuff before and I just don't retain everything.
Well, maybe it's because I haven't really mentioned the group, just the person specifically.
Oh, okay.
Because I've mentioned them quite a bit because they're TXT's Hyun and Kai's sister.
Oh, okay. So the 17 songs that I listened to, the 3
of the 17.
I mean, they have way more than 17 songs.
Yeah.
But I listened to 3 of them. And I listened to Very Nice, which I don't think is actually pronounced very nice. It's pronounced
partly in Korean.
Something else than Korean, and then the word nice.
I do nice.
What you said. Just like an overarching impression I got from the 3 songs that I listened to. I mean, they're a boy band.
Yeah.
So they sound like boy bands. Right?
Well, that depends on what you consider to be a boy band type thing, because K-pop boy bands have different concepts.
That's true. But just like speaking of the music itself.
Yeah. It's very American boy group-y.
Yeah. It's just like any other, like, kind of boy band pop group. Like, admittedly, isn't necessarily my thing. None of these songs really, like, connected with me super strongly. But, you know, like, I watched the video for Very Nice, and they're all dancing together in their suspenders, and they look real sharp. Like, I gotta admit,
the pants kind of look a little small to me.
That's true. They do have kind of the high water pants, which has precedent in pop music for sure. I mean, Michael Jackson is all I need to say about that. But, I mean, when a bunch of guys are doing all the same thing at the same time, wearing the same outfits, looking sharp, it's impressive. Like, it's fun to watch that. That video also was a little bit confusing to me. I mean, if I'm being fair, like the whole thing was confusing to me. Like all of the stuff
Yeah,
from this group was confusing to me.
I can understand that.
I didn't mind it. The video seemed to be about each individual member's heart exploding into confetti
Because of this one girl.
because of one girl who is
Literally not even doing anything.
nothing.
She's just standing there
And they just
and
like
occasionally sitting.
sometimes in a shopping cart, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
And then their hearts explode into confetti, which I guess is very nice. The second song I listened to was Left and Right. This one specifically, I noticed like I was getting a distinct Backstreet Boys vibe from this song. That's what it sounded like to me. That's why I think I was saying that they sounded like a boy band, because like I was like, oh yeah, I've heard this kind of thing before. I don't have anything especially remarkable to say about that song. It was a fine song. One thing I noticed about the video that I was going to ask you about, because I'm curious if you have any insight to, is I noticed in the video of this one specifically, and I think a little bit in some of the other ones, it seems like some of the guys in the group in their close-ups had like little scrapes on the bridge of their noses. Have you ever noticed that before?
No, not really.
Okay, there was like multiple guys that looked like, which the reason that it stands out is because usually they look so pristinely perfect.
Yeah. And also very commonly whitewashed.
Yeah, I'll give you that too. But it seems so deliberate that they would have like these scrapes on the bridge of their noses that I don't know exactly how to interpret that. I mean, it's clearly intentional that they have makeup artists clearly that would cover up any blemishes they had. But my guess was maybe that's like to make them look like tough because they maybe got in a fight recently.
I don't know. Maybe it's... I don't know what it is, actually.
Yeah, hard to say. If anybody has any thoughts on that, I'd be curious to hear them.
Yes.
And then the last song of theirs that I listened to is the song that I am sure is probably not intended to be pronounced this way, but I am going to call it Darl plus Ing. I'm sure it's supposed to just be said darling.
Yeah.
But there's a plus in there. And I don't know why.
To be fancy, I guess?
After listening to the song multiple times, I did not get any clues from the song or the lyrics or the video as to why there's a plus in there. You know, yeah, I guess to be fancy or, you know, be distinct in some way. One thing that I'm noticing as I scroll through the discography of the various K-pop groups that I'm listening to is they frequently have songs that have the same titles as other very well-known songs, at least American popular culture. And so I'm often scrolling through and I see a title that looks familiar to me because I know it as another song. And I think, oh, did they do a cover of that song? And then I play it, and inevitably it's a completely different song.
Yeah.
It just happens to share a title with another popular song.
I feel like if it was a cover, they would put it on there, like on the title.
Yeah, maybe. I also noticed the titles of 17's albums seem to all include the ordinal number of whatever album it is for them. So, like, so let's pretend for a moment that because I'm looking at a window that the name of their album was Window. But it would actually be 17's second album, quote unquote, Window.
Yeah.
I don't know why they do it that way.
I don't either.
Regardless. So Darl plus Ing. This was one that was entirely in English. And I will say the other ones that I listened to seem to be a lot more Korean heavy than some of the stuff I've been listening to lately. Like there are English words and phrases in them, but a lot less of that.
Yeah.
But this particular one was in all English.
Yeah.
Which I do like, and I've been thinking about it because, like, one of the ways that I connect or interact with a song is I like to sing along with songs.
Yeah. Same.
And it's very challenging for me, having really no experience with the Korean language whatsoever, to sing along with a lot of the songs, which I understand that that's a cultural bias, and that's I accept and take responsibility for my cultural biases, but at the same time, it makes it hard for me to connect with some songs because I can't sing along to the Korean parts.
Yeah.
And so I do like the English songs, and I understand that that's maybe a cultural limitation of mine. But in this particular case, because it was an English song, I was like kind of looking forward to it because I thought I might connect with it more. I immediately accepted the fact that these English lyrics don't make any sense.
Yeah, they kind of don't.
I love plenty of songs from native English speakers whose lyrics make absolutely no sense as well.
Mm-hmm.
I also noticed that in the recording of it, they let their natural accents come through,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
Yeah.
One of the things about the lyrics that kind of jumped out at me as a little unusual, not sure, wanted to hear your reaction to, was they mentioned drinking tequila,
Yeah.
which seemed, I guess, in my mind, the target audience for most K-pop is probably like teenagers.
Yeah.
So teenagers wouldn't necessarily identify with drinking tequila.
Or at least they shouldn't.
I would hope not in most cases that they wouldn't be drinking tequila. I wouldn't necessarily advocate for anybody drinking tequila, although everybody as adults get to choose what they want to do, but I don't know. I just thought that was kind of odd.
Mm.
Is that something unusual in K-pop?
Yeah, I guess. It's kind of like the phenomenon of, like, cursing in K-pop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it happens occasionally, but, like, not a lot. So,
Right.
like, when it happens, it's, a little surprising, but, like, not really.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't, like, clutching my pearls, shocked or anything by it. Like, I'm aware that people drink alcohol, but
Yeah.
it just didn't seem like the kind of thing that I would have expected to hear in a K-pop lyric.
Yeah.
And one other last thing I wanted to say about that particular song was I noticed when I was scrolling through Spotify that there was a holiday version.
Mm. Oh, yeah. I put that on my Christmas music list. Because it's just so random and bizarre. Because there's also one by IVE, which was their song Love Dive. Just, like, hearing it, my mind is, like, already so used to hearing the normal version, but when it's put to Christmassy music, it's just so confusing. Because what I like to do is I like to dance along to the songs, too, if I know the choreography. So me trying to figure out how to do the choreography in the beat with the Christmas song is really funny.
Yeah. I admittedly did not listen to the whole holiday version. I just listened to a little bit because I had to satisfy my curiosity, which was basically when I saw that, I said to myself, I bet it's the exact same song, except they added in sleigh bells. And I don't think I was that far off.
Yeah, it's just they put the lyrics to the song on a completely different background music, and they somehow tried to fit the lyrics into that, but it's just kind of, in my opinion, it doesn't really work as well.
Yeah, especially since like the lyrics have absolutely nothing to do with
Christmas or anything.
Christmas or holidays or
Yeah.
winter or anything like that.
Yeah, the music video is like very summery,
Yeah,
which is like the complete opposite of winter.
I would agree that summer is the complete opposite of winter.
Yeah, especially here, where anytime there's any weather of any sort, it's like really extreme. Like, for example, summer it's really hot, winter it's really cold, fall it's either really hot or really cold, and spring it's really humid and rainy, and also hot.
Yeah, I mean, we're in fall now, and some days, like today, is super hot.
Yeah.
Like 3 days ago, it was pretty chilly.
Yeah.
That's living in our part of the world, though.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's all I have to say about 17. But that's okay, because we have more to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Our stated goal for today was to talk about Red Velvet. So
yes.
Let's do that. Tell me about Red Velvet.
So, Red Velvet is a girl group under the company SM Entertainment. They have 5 members. The members from Lotus Youngest are Irene, Solgi, Wendy, Joy, and Yeri.
Oh, okay.
They debuted on August 1st, 2014 with the song Happiness, and their most recent song is Bye Bye, from what I've written down. Because, I don't know, I don't really remember any big updates on the Red Velvet thing of, like, they have a new song coming out, and also I don't think I've actually listened to it.
Oh, you haven't even listened to their most recent song?
No.
Okay.
Their fan group is called This is very confusing because it's spelled Reveluv, so Reveluv.
Say that again.
Veluv.
Luv. Okay, I got it. Right. I had to
'Cause it's
process it.
The RE is the red, the
Right.
VE is the velvet, and
Right.
the LUV is love. I've heard people suggest that their fan group should be called Cupcakes, which would make more sense.
Sure.
Also, it'd be easier to pronounce because that just kind of looks like you stuck a bunch of letters together that have somewhat correspondence to the group.
I mean, I understand where they got there or how they got there,
Yeah.
but yeah, Cupcakes would probably be easier to say,
yeah.
at least for me.
Yeah. Sometimes, the fan group suggests the names to change the fan group to. For example, I don't actually know how to pronounce their name, but it's Ordinary Heroes or something like that, but there's an X there, so it's Exdinary Heroes or something. People were like, we should be the X Sidekicks or just X Kicks, sidekicks, because they're the heroes and we're the sidekicks. But apparently their fan group is called Villains, which doesn't make much sense because they're supposed to be opposites and whatever. So their hater group could probably be called haters, or villains.
If I was I don't know anything about this situation. I know that you've mentioned it before.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that I've ever heard it, but hearing about it again now, my first instinct is my suggestion: sidekicks with an X.
Yeah.
Kix.
Yeah.
I assume that everyone listening is going to
I don't know.
immediately accept this as the best option, and you guys will let me know later. I mean, you can send your thank you cards after. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway,
where would they send the thank you cards? They don't know our address, and I don't think they should know our address.
I'm not giving out our address.
Yes, no.
You can send us thank you e-cards.
Yeah, you could send us an email.
That sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
That's the best way to go about it.
This doesn't happen a lot in K-pop, but occasionally groups will add in another member after the group's already debuted. For example, Yeri, aka the youngest, joined in March 2015. So
okay.
she joined about a year-ish, sort of,
you
later.
said they started in
August 1st.
of 2014.
Yes.
So, okay. Yeah, that is not something I've heard you talk about much before.
Yeah.
And they have been around for quite a while, it seems like.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know any reason in particular why they added another member?
Not that I can think of.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe they just wanted to spice it up and add a new person. But yeah, there's this thing in K-pop where after 7 years, their contract with a group usually expires, but they can re-sign or extend their contract with them so they can stay for longer. And so I'm pretty sure Red Velvet has did that because 2014 was more than 7 years ago.
When that happens, what happens if they say, no thanks? Does that mean that the group no longer, they disband, or?
Well, if all of them decide that they don't want to re-sign, then the group will eventually disband and they could go their separate ways, or they could re-sign with, one of them could re-sign with the company and become a soloist, or join another group and re-debut, or they could go to a different company or something like that. But there's this thing with Blackpink where it's their contract is either expired already or soon to expire because they debuted in 2015, I believe, 2016 actually. But yeah, and so there's all these questions about what's going to happen to Blackpink, because some of them have re-signed, but I'm pretty sure Lisa has denied re-signing twice for lots of money, and so people are oh, is Lisa going to leave Blackpink, or is is Blackpink going to disband? Are they going to change their mind? Are they going to go to a different company? Are they going to what's happening?
Yeah, that's curious. I'm guessing that because the company is responsible for the creation of the group, they probably own the rights to the group, which makes me think that even if they wanted, say everybody wanted to continue performing as a group, but they didn't like this particular company, I would bet they wouldn't be able to go to a different company and still retain the rights to the name and all that stuff.
Well, they could terminate their contract and then go audition for another group and re-debut there, but I'm pretty sure there isn't like a full guarantee that all of them will be in the same group, because like some of them could I don't know, eventually just like get sick and tired of the K-pop industry in general and just leave the company. Or like, I don't know, maybe they all become different soloists in the same company or something like that.
Sure. Yeah, that reminds me of like the situation that happened with the Jackson 5 back in the late 70s, early 80s, when they went to a different record label, but the first record label, which I believe was Motown, retained the rights to the name Jackson 5. So when they went to their new record label, they started just calling themselves the Jacksons. And then, of course, many of them had solo careers as well. But please continue telling me more about Red Velvet.
Well, their name, from what I have been researching, the red part of it is supposed to be like, you know, their vivid and bold part of it and like, you know, all their colors and stuff, which could go along with the song Red Flavor, which is supposed to be like, you know, all colorful because, like, you know, it has the word red in it.
Indeed it does.
But, like, the velvet part of it is supposed to be, like, classy and more toned down and, like, more royal, I guess, which could, I don't know, go with the song Feel My Rhythm, I believe it's called. And, like, Red Velvet is kind of known for their interesting concepts for their songs. Like, for example, their song Psycho is supposed to be, like, horror because, well, it's called Psycho. And their song Russian Roulette is pretty sure about all of them willing to kill each other for this one guy, which is an interesting emotion.
I do remember you talking about Red Velvet before, because it's stuck in my mind, because I think you said that they had sort of like a dark,
more horror-y,
kind of concept.
Not
and so,
all of their songs are like that, but like Psycho is like that, Russian Roulette is like that. Can't remember if Peekaboo is like that, but like if you think about the other song titles called Psycho and Russian Roulette, I'm pretty sure Peekaboo could be something sort of scary-ish.
Yeah.
It could be like a movie title name, like a horror movie title name.
Yeah, I agree.
And when you think about like all these scary songs they have, the song Red Flavor sounds interesting.
I guess so, yeah. Once you start putting everything through that filter, you can make almost anything sound a little spooky.
Because what is red flavor? What is red and what are you flavoring, or what are you tasting?
I mean, it sounds kind of
blood?
Vampire-y to me, yeah.
Yeah, because it looks pretty innocent, but like it kind of feels a little off to me, but I don't know, maybe I'm just like going far than I have to, because like I'm pretty sure the start of it is them interviewing fruits. And there's like a bunch of fruits everywhere and stuff, and it just like seems like a pretty joyful song, but like why is it called Red Flavor? Because like fruits come in all sorts of colors. Are they talking about like strawberries or something?
When I take the horror implications out of it, Red Flavor does sound like everybody's favorite candy in the bag, right?
Yeah.
Everybody wants the red jelly beans or the red
something.
Starburst. Yeah, the red Starburst.
The red Starburst is like one of the two least popular ones. The
really?
Two most popular ones are like, I'm pretty sure, the pink and the yellow, and then the two least populars are the red and the orange. I'm pretty sure the orange is the least popular one.
I feel like I've seen at the grocery store where they've had like just the reds and pinks. Like you could buy a bag of just the reds and pinks.
Interesting.
But, you know, everybody likes what they like. Because, like, in candy, flavors aren't what they say they are, you know? Like, we accept them. Like, the purple one's grape flavor, even though it tastes like no grape anyone's ever eaten.
Yeah.
But you know that when you have that flavor, that's, like, candy grape flavor.
Yeah.
So the red flavor is usually, like, some sort of...
like strawberry or apple or something.
Or cherry or some kind of, like...
red fruit.
Red, fruity flavor, but...
But then sometimes they change the apple to green, but I think that green should be lime.
I think that was a big controversy in the Skittle world because they changed it, I think, from lime to green apple. Yes, I know a lot about Skittles, but I believe they also released a lime-only Skittle package that you could get as well. But this isn't a podcast about candy. It's a podcast about K-pop. So,
yes.
Red Velvet, like... It sounds to me like you haven't had as much exposure to their work as some of the other groups we've talked about. Is that
Yeah.
accurate?
Like, I listened to a few of their songs. Like, for example, Russian Roulette and Red Flavor are two of my most favorite ones of their songs of theirs.
You're not like a huge fan, but
Yeah.
you like some of their stuff.
Yeah. But there's also, like, some of their solo songs, which I'm pretty sure the only one that I listen to is Sulgi's 28 Reasons. Don't know what all the 28 reasons are for. I don't know what she's talking about in that.
I'm guessing that we probably don't even find out all 28 reasons. I'm just thinking.
I don't think we learn any of the reasons, actually.
That makes sense. Like,
Because imagine trying to put 28 reasons for something in a song.
agreed. I mean, usually when there's a number of things in a song, you don't get to actually hear of, in the song title, I should say, when there's a number of things in a song title, you don't get to hear all of the things. Like,
28 reasons.
the first ones that come to my mind are 99 Problems, which
Yeah.
you don't hear 99 problems. In
Yeah.
fact, you hear the problem that he doesn't have.
You get 99 problems, but you won't be one.
And then 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover, you don't hear 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. You hear like 4-ish.
Yeah. Because, like, you never hear all of the numbers unless it's, like, under 5 or something like that. Or maybe even under 10. Just, like, single-digit numbers, mostly. Because, like, 28 reasons is kind of a lot.
Yeah, that would be a lot.
But, yeah. That one's, like, one of my favorite Red Velvet songs, even though it's only one of them. Don't exactly remember the full meaning of it, but I do recommend it because it's a good song in my opinion. It has a really cool high note, and also the music video is pretty cool too.
I was writing it down and I started writing down 28 problems because I was still thinking about 99 problems. 28 reasons.
Yeah. There's another thing from SM Entertainment that is, I believe it's called Got, in all caps, the beat. Got is in all caps, but not the beat.
Okay.
Where it's several members, like a few members from different SM girl groups, like, for example, Red Velvet, or aespa, or I believe one of them's Taeyeon, I believe that's her name. She's a soloist. I've only ever listened to, like, one song,
So it's like a super group, kind of?
I guess, but there's, like, not that many of them, because it's not, like, the entire group all together. It's kind of like the JYP Nation, where it's, like, 2 from ITZY, 2 from NMIXX, and like 3 from Stray Kids, which are all JYP groups. It's kind of like that, I guess, where it's a few from specific groups,
Yeah, I mean,
like a few soloists, I guess.
that sounds like a super group to me.
And like, I've never actually really listened to their music. I've like heard of them before, and I've like seen a bit of their stuff. I just think it's kind of cool, I guess.
Sure.
But, like, one of I think it's their song's Stamp on It or something like that. Their vocals are, like, really nice, but it's just the background music that doesn't really fit along with the vocals, so it doesn't really sound like a good song, in my opinion. Some of their lyrics are also really weird. Like, kind of cringy, in my opinion. But then again, I listen to Cat and Dog, so, like, who am I to judge?
Okay. I don't know what that means. But...
Cat and Dog by TXT.
Oh, I don't think that was one I listened to. Did that have cringy lyrics?
Yes, definitely. 100%. Like, all of it.
Okay, fair enough. Sometimes I enjoy songs that have pretty bad lyrics in them for the fact that they have bad lyrics.
That's kind of my relationship with Cat and Dog. Like, I'm aware that it's cringy, and I know that it's cringy, and I feel that it's cringy, but I still really like it because it's cringy.
Yeah, that's a good reason to like things, too. So with Red Velvet, how does the, I guess, spooky aspect of things make you feel? Do you like that about it?
I kind of like it, yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I mean, as we stated earlier, like, you're into October and spooky Halloween stuff, so...
And, like, kind of teen angsty music, I guess.
Yeah.
I keep getting recommended that one, the playlist on Spotify. It's called Teen Angst.
I don't know that I've seen that one.
It's probably because you don't have my music taste.
Well, that's true, although I've been listening to a lot of K-pop on Spotify, frankly, and
But
so
that's
I
not
am
really
getting
teen
more
angsty.
recommendations.
It depends on the kind of group you're listening to.
Yeah, well, you know, when I was a teen, I was into angsty music as well. I mean, I still like a lot of that music now, because, like, everybody likes the music that they liked as a teen for probably the rest of their life.
Sometimes I think about, like, the music that I listen to, if I have kids in the future, is going to be dad music for them. Because, like, you know, I have an idea of dad music, and it's, like, kind of the songs that you listen to.
Yeah.
And so, like, the music that I listen to is going to be dad music for my kids.
Yeah, no, you're right. And it's a weird experience to go through that. But I have gone through that experience where, like, you turn on the radio, which is something that you and any potential future children you have will probably never do because radio probably won't be a thing anymore. But I still turn it on the radio from time to time and tune it to the quote-unquote oldies station.
Yeah.
And hear songs that
you would listen to, like, anytime, really.
And I acknowledge that those songs are old now. They're decades old, but it still feels weird.
I'm just cracking up thinking that my kids are going to think that TT by Twice is dad music. I'm just, like, so outdated and old or something. I don't know. It's not like I'm going to be having children anytime soon.
Well, let's hope not.
Yeah.
What I was saying before was, like, I would think that you would like a group that was a little edgy in that way.
Yeah. Because, like, for outsider people, I guess, the song Russian Roulette wouldn't really seem like that kind of song, other than the title, of course, because it's in Korean, sort of. But it's, like, a good song. I have it in my Halloween playlist because it's supposed to be a spooky song, but it's, like, kind of... You don't expect it to be, but then you look at the translation and you're like, oh, okay.
So on your Halloween playlist, do you have stuff that's not K-pop?
Yeah, I have Thriller by Michael Jackson.
Okay, that's legit.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I have, like, This Is Halloween.
Oh, from The Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah, songs like that.
All right.
Just, like, some songs that I like that would fit into the Halloween-y theme, I guess.
Does it include the Monster Mash?
No.
I didn't think it would, but I felt obligated to ask.
Anytime I look for, like, K-pop related Halloween costumes, one Red Velvet costume shows up.
Do they primarily wear red as a color in their presentation? I don't know how to say that less dumb way. Because, like, when a group has a color in the name, I mean, like, the first thing that comes to my mind is the White Stripes, right?
Yeah.
Which... strangely enough, their primary color was red and not white, but they would almost always be wearing some combination of red and white or black.
Yeah.
So I just wondered if maybe that was like, because like the band that I'm in has a color scheme.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if maybe that was like something. Does that carry over into their?
Not that
fashion?
I know of. No. The song that I was talking about was Dum Dum. But one of them is wearing, like, sort of a darker blue, like, slight bit of purple apron, and they have, like, purple tights. And it's angering me, kind of, because it's not the same color, but all of the other ones have the same color. And so I keep seeing that one. But, like, I probably wouldn't do that one because, like, I'm not a very big Red Velvet fan, and also I don't think I would really do that one. So I did end up doing something that was completely not K-pop related.
Yeah.
Because I just couldn't think of any. Cause the first thing that I thought of was Cheer Up by Twice, because they're wearing all sorts of, like, elaborate outfits that are, like, themed after some things. I try to think of any other thing, because anytime I try to look up K-pop-inspired Halloween costumes, it always came up with Halloween costumes that K-pop idols were wearing, as in, like, you know, generic ones that you would wear to, like, normal Halloween, like, you know, a vampire or something like that.
Sure. So... I don't know. This has nothing to do with K-pop, but since we're talking about it, I know, because, like, you talked about how you're kind of into Halloween, you're kind of into, like, the spooky stuff, you're kind of into the angsty stuff. And I know that, like, for example, we all watched Stranger Things together.
Yeah.
Which you seem to really enjoy.
Yeah.
So, like, we watch a lot of movies in our family. And one thing that we haven't watched a lot of movies of are horror movies.
Yeah, I'm kind of more of a paranoid person, so if I see something, like, slightly scary, I'm going to have nightmares. So horror movies don't really work well with me, but for some reason, Stranger Things didn't affect me at all. But, like, if I try to watch any normal horror movie, it doesn't work well.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Even if I see someone, like, on YouTube or something making some sort of, like, somewhat creepy image, it's going to haunt me.
Oh, okay.
And so, like, the one that I can remember the most is this one, Film Theory, I think it was. They break down, like, these cool, usually supposed to be, like, horror things and, like, the lore and stuff. So I saw this one that was, like, meat creatures. like horror meat creatures
Yeah.
that will eat you. Like there's a specific one, because there are different types of them, but there's a specific one that eats humans, and the more humans it eats, the more human it looks like.
Okay.
So I wasn't the one actually watching the video, but I saw a clip of that, and I just couldn't get it out of my head.
Uh-huh.
And so, like, if I watch a horror movie, I'm not going to get over it.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, some people are really into it because
Yeah.
it gives them a scare in a non-threatening way to them,
Yeah.
and other people just hate them and don't want anything to do with them.
Yeah.
I am one of the people who I like horror movies. I don't really find them particularly scary to me because of the fact that they're movies and I can enjoy them on a separate level, I guess,
Yeah.
somehow. But I don't think there's a bunch of horror, like, I don't think your mother is a big horror movie person either.
Yeah.
And so usually if I'm watching horror movies, it's by myself.
Hmm.
Anyway,
That's not K-pop related.
not at all.
Not really.
What else do I need to know about Red Velvet?
Well, I remembered that I didn't mention this before, but they don't actually have any foreign members. They're all native South Koreans.
Oh, okay. So are there other songs that you think I should listen to? So the ones that I've taken note of so far: Red Flavor, Russian Roulette, 28 Reasons. What else do you think?
I think Birthday is an interesting one.
Birthday.
Yes.
And is there anything in particular about any of those songs that I should keep an eye out for? Or why
I don't know. I guess mostly the lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, there's a really interesting part in the end of 28 Reasons that's like this little paragraph thing, I guess, that's like in English, so you would be able to read it. But it's like really interesting and kind of sort of explains the song, I guess, in a little bit.
Oh.
But like I can't quite remember what it is exactly out of memory. But like I think it's sometimes important to like watch till the end of the videos.
Oh, yeah. I always watch to the end of the video.
Yeah.
I agree. In addition to being a family that watches a lot of movies, we're
Yeah.
also a family that watches all the credits for all the
Yeah.
movies because that's part of the movie.
If we ever go to the movie theater and it's a Marvel movie, you always have to stay after the credits because there's almost always a post-credit sequence.
For sure. And I just think that all of the credits are part of the movie as well. So, like, you haven't seen the
Yeah.
whole movie unless you've watched till the end.
You could see some pretty interesting names in there too.
Yeah, we do like to
Yeah, we
look for...
like to play a little game where it's like the smallest amount of letters in a name possible. So far we've only got to 4, but like I'm pretty sure I've never heard of anybody with less than 4 letters in their name.
Yeah.
Like first and last.
Yeah, we always count down when we see a smaller name. All right, so I've got some songs from Red Velvet to listen to, and I am very curious because I am also into angsty, spooky things, how that will work for me.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all for this week.
Next week we are going to be talking about G-Idol.
Oh, okay. G-Idol is definitely one that I've heard mentioned.
Probably going to get a lot of hate because a lot of people think it's pronounced just idol and the G is silent, but they've said it themselves, G-Idol. But also, why is the G there if it's like, yeah.
Yeah, controversy gets people's attention,
Yeah.
gets people engaged. All right, well, we'll get into that in more detail next week, but for now, I guess, let's say all the usual things, which include...
We have a YouTube. You could subscribe to that and maybe leave a comment if you want to. We also have an email, so if you have any questions or comments or anything, you could also send that to us. Maybe in the future we could do a Q&A about ourselves. So if you have any interesting questions you want to ask us, go ahead and email us.
At cavepopforoldpeople@gmail.com. And I guess that's about it.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
Annyeong.
So thanks for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.
What?
That was my button on the end. You're supposed to do your thing.
Oh. If we ever go to the movie theater and it's a Marvel movie, you always have to stay after the credits, because credits. The credits.